It's time to process, prepare, and preserve this week's harvest with Weston Equipment, Bradley Smokers, High Mountain Seasonings, and Outdoor Edge Knives.
You know, High Mountain Seasoning has the largest variety of seasonings that are available for you, the home processor. And right here this week on the Butcher Block, we're going to be using one of their new products, Jalapeno Summer Sausage. Now we'll just take the 8-inch butcher knife here from our Outdoor Edge game processor, and we're going to chop up these large sections of primary muscle that we have here. We're going to cut up these large chunks of meat. This 8-inch butcher knife is perfect for making small pieces out of big ones. Look at that. All right, now that we have our meat diced up, it's very important to know the weight of the meat before you can add your High Mountain seasoning. So we're going to take our Weston scale and find out exactly how much meat we have so we know how much good High Mountain seasoning we need to add. Now we'll just place our seasonings right into our measuring cup so that we can get an accurate measurement on the amount of seasoning that we have. Now I know that this seasoning blend is for 30 pounds of meat. So this one packet is going to do 15 pounds. Now I had about 7 pounds of meat on my Weston scale, so I know that I'm going to need half of this measuring cup applied to my product to get the correct amount of seasoning into my jalapeno summer sausage. Now we'll just sprinkle about half of the seasoning right across the top of our meat block here until you have the exact amount of seasoning that you need to apply to the product. Now we're going to add just a little bit of ice water, and that ice water is just going to help blend those seasonings with the meat product so that we can get those seasonings dissolving well and completely coating every piece of meat that we have here in our pan. Now the reason you always see me adding just a little bit of water to the seasonings whenever I'm placing them onto any product is just to begin to dissolve those seasonings. When you apply dry seasoning to a dry meat product, this is how you end up with bites of meat that have a lot of spice in them and others that are bland. By adding just a little bit of water, you can begin to dilute that seasoning down and better coat each and every piece of meat before you put it through your Weston grinder. All right, now we're finishing our second grind here on our jalapeno summer sausage, and we've already gone ahead and pre-soaked our fibrous casings. Now it's a very good idea to soak these casings for a good hour to 2 hours before you're going to begin using them. It's not necessary to soak them that long, but believe me when I tell you, it'll help you in the stuffing process. All right, now we've got all of our meat packed down into our Weston stuffer here, and a really neat design feature of the Weston stuffer is actually how the hopper just flips right back out of the carriage here. You can fill it, put all your meat in there, press it down nice and tight, push all the air out of there so you don't have any air pockets inside the chamber. Then you're not going to have any air pockets inside your casing. Then you can just flip it up just like that, crank it right down, and begin stuffing your product. Now we'll just squeeze the casing very tight, and these fibrous casings can really hold a lot of pressure. So don't be afraid to squeeze it tight. You're not going to pop this like you will a collagen or a natural casing. So put a lot of pressure on that. This is a large diameter product, and you want to be certain that you push all the air out. We come to the end right here, we'll stop, slide it right out to the end, and then we're going to twist it real tight here on the end. And what we actually have here is some pliers from Weston Supply, and we're just going to pop a clip right on the end of that casing, and this product is ready to go to the Bradley smoker.
See our full line of instructional game processing DVDs on our website at OutdoorEdge.com.
All right, now we've loaded our summer sausage onto the racks of our Bradley smoker. And what we've done is we've turned the cabinet temperature on to 160 degrees, and we've also turned on the smoke generator, and we've pre-smoked the smoke box. Now the reason that we're starting out at such a high temperature
is because we have such a large diameter product. Now, anytime that you're going to be smoking a large diameter product like that, it's okay to turn the internal temperature of the smokehouse up a little bit in order to set the proteins in that large diameter product. If you start out smoking really low, oftentimes you can get a little bit of spoilage inside the product because it stays at that low temperature for too long of a period of time. It's important to increase the internal temperature of that product rapidly through that danger zone, which is about 80 to 130 degrees internal temperature. Now I'm going to take my last stick of summer sausage here and place it in the smokehouse, and as you can obviously see, we've got those briquettes making smoke, and we've got that good Bradley smoke flavor rolling right into that meat product. Now we'll close the door, and we're going to leave that go for about 2 hours at 160 degrees until we can feel those summer sausages getting rather solid. Then we'll probe them. We'll turn the temperature up to 200 degrees until we reach a final internal temperature of 158 degrees, which defines a ready-to-eat product. If you have any questions about home processing, be sure to visit me on my blog page at thehuntersbutchershop.com.